Hello everyone. Today I will explain the web authoring chapter. Web pages are documents containing hypertext markup language or HTML. Hypertext markup language is the language of World Wide Web, which is we can say that the combination of all web pages all over the world. So HTML code is read by web browser software like web browser like Google Chrome or Edge or Safari, which carries out the instructions provided by the HTML code and displays the resulting output as a web page. So we have some files, and inside that files we have some HTML code, some images, and other things that we can put to a web page. And the web browsers are used to just convert this as to the web pages, like as we see in our browsers. So we can say, in other words, browsers display web page content. Okay, to create web pages, we can use either HTML by writing to a text editor like Notepad, Notepad++, this kind of editors, or we can use a specialist applications such as Adobe Dreamweaver or Composer, which we are going to use it. So specialist applications have a feature that you don't need to know how to code HTML. If you want to write, create a web page by using a Notepad, you should know how to use HTML. But in this kind of specialist applications, you have options. It is either you use the HTML part, or you can just drag and drop or insert like using Word. So it is optional. So in this chapter, we will learn about the tools available in applications such as Adobe Dreamweaver, Composer, and Amaya. As I said, we are going to use Composer. Okay, templates. Creating a template ensures that all of your web pages will have a consistent appearance and layout. Template, we can say that it is, how can I say, the generic form of something. For example, if you are going to design a web page, you can create a template, or you can find a template which you can apply for all other pages. So think about that. You want to make a web page of your school, and your school may have 50 different you need to make a website of your school, and that website will have 50 different web pages. So instead of applying all formatting the other things to each web page one by one, you can use a template. So you can create a template first, and then you can apply this template to each page. So our first activity is creating a new page. I'm going to Composer. I have already prepared page. So when you open Composer first, it will you will see this screen. Normally, it is assuming that you open it to create a web page. That's why it opens you an untitled page. But if you again want to create a new web page, you can just from upper left, you can click new, and as you see, we have another untitled uh, web page. So uh, it's asking us to view the HTML page. So in Composer, we have this kind of tabs at the bottom: design, split, and source. So split is the just you can see both source and design part at the same time. In design, it is the place that we will use it mostly. As I told you, you can just insert some image, create table, just make some formatting like using Microsoft Word. And while you are doing this kind of things, uh, in source part, automatically it will add some HTML codes. So this is the source part, and these are the HTML codes. Even the page is empty, you can see that we have some HTML code here. Okay. Creating web pages by placing elements on a page rather than writing HTML is an example of what is known as what you see is what you get editing. So this makes creating web pages much easier and has enabled more people to contribute to the World Wide Web. So it is something like creating web pages when they first started to ever. I mean, when World Wide Web came into our lives, the people that know how to write HTML codes can only design web pages. But after that, uh, while this kind of, I mean, Adobe Dreamweaver kind of or Composer kinds of applications designed, developed. In this case, more people can use these programs and just have create their web pages. So that's why it is saying much easier and more people is enabled to contribute to the World Wide Web. And this kind of designing or editing is called what you see is what you get. It means when you write HTML codes here, actually you should know the syntax of it, how to use it, and the appearance of the web page. If you are, for example, using a notepad to design a web page, the appearance will be not the same as this one. When you run it, you will see just completely different page. But in design part, it is not like that. It is like using a Word, Microsoft Word. Think about that. You design a flyer by using Microsoft Word. So uh, the appearance when you print it, it will not change. So it is similar in designing web pages. That's why it is saying what you see is what you get. Okay. Tables and frames. Tables can be used to create a layout template, which specifies how content should be placed on a page. So we can use tables to create a layout template. So by this way, we can just choose easily where we put image, where we put text, where we put banner. So we can separate them. And also, when the page is resized, the table will stretch to fit the page. This means that the page will keep its layout even when viewed on devices with different sized screens. So by using also table, just for example, if you make 100% the width, uh, always table will try to arrange itself to different uh, sizes of monitors. So the ratio will not change between the items. Also, merging cells in a table allows you to create more complex layouts than using a simple grid. And as you know, grid is like your mathematic exercise books. So instead of using this kind of structure, it is better to use merging to maybe you want to use a header, you want to use a banner, or maybe you want to use a menu to use whole row or whole column. So merging is uh, very useful. Okay, let's continue to the next activity. Creating a table. It is asking me to insert a 5 by 5 table. I will continue from the previous activity page. Uh, Set the table width to 100% so that it will stretch to fit any window size or screen size, as I told you. Format the table so that its borders will not be displayed by a web browser by setting border thickness to 0. So if you just want to show borders, you can make more than 0. But if you don't want, border thickness is 0 is the best. For set all cell padding and cell spacing to 0. I will explain while I do it. what is cell padding and cell spacing. Uh, Also merge join the cells on the top row and save the file as index.html. Okay. By the way, guide line is a line used as a visual guide. Okay, let's do it. So, by the way, I'm going to close one of them because maybe it will confuse us. Okay, we will create a table. We can create table from here or from insert table menu. Uh, Table, it asks 5 by 5. Okay, we created it. Um, it now it is not 100 percentage. If it was 100 percentage, it should just fit whole page. So let's again, if you want to edit features, we can go to just come over to table, right click, select table cell properties, select table, and then we can just make our formatting modification. So here table width is 100 pixels. 100 pixels means just maybe we can say 20 pixels for each cell width, which we want to make it 100 percentage to cover all width of a window. For the height, it is not important because our web page will just expand according to our information. Border is 1 pixel, spacing 2, and padding 2. When I say apply, as you see, we have a web page like this. So having border means when you run the web page, these borders will appear. Sometimes people just choosing them to appear, but it is asked to make it 0. Okay. Spacing is pixels between cells. So let's say I made 10 to be more appear. As you see, this is a distance between cells. When I make 10 pixel, the distance between the cells is increased. Let's go to the menu again. So let's make this one 0 as well. This is asked for us. And padding, let's make this one 10 to see how it is changed. As you see, the size of the cell is increased. Why? Because let me to write something. I want to write apply and write something. So close. When you write something, you can see that the distance between the text or any item distance between the text or any item uh, is increasing. I mean, now the uh, the border of the cell and the item have more distance. This is called padding. If I make it 20, you will see that it is increased more. If I make it 0, you will see that it is just covering the text. I mean the cell. Okay. So it says to apply this formatting. So I apply. It doesn't need for any text. Okay. Then it says us to merge or join the cells on the top row. So we are going to merge this cell. You have to select all of them, right click, and we have option join selected cells. Okay. And then it asked, I think, to save it as index.html. For the first time when I save it, it will ask me, this is for title. I mean, like this tabs when it is appearing on a browser, it is showing the name of the page. So let's say index for now. Okay. So I'm going to put it to desktop. I will create a folder for that later. Let's say save, and also I created another one. Doesn't matter. Okay. Okay.